सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन रामप्रेमामृतेन मे नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम् अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवनकृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। So in the Ravana Sabha, he was given the news that Bhagwan Ramchandraji along with the army has reached the shore, the other shore of the ocean. So then he asked, what should be done? So all the ministers said, there is nothing to be done because they are only monkeys whom we can kill easily. So they are not at all a threat to us. Though all these ministers were scared within. But then Vibhishana comes, and then when he was asked what should be done, so then Vibhishana says, O Lord, we should give back Sita because we are on the adharma side. This is not right what we are doing. What we are doing is adharma. So then he said that this Rama is none other than the Supreme Lord who has taken a human form. He is a Nirguna Nirakara Parabrahma who has become Saguna Sakara. So therefore he is inconquerable. He is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. He is the avatara of the Lord, etc. He says. And then he says, this is exactly the message which has been given by Pulasthi Rishi, your father. This is the message. Malyavant, the grandfather of Ravana, listening to this Vibhishana's advice, he supports Vibhishana. But then Ravana then says, these two fools are praising my enemy in front of me. Who is there to throw them out? Nobody comes forward. Malyavant gets up and goes away. But Vibhishana keeps on, requesting Ravana, saying that, oh my dear brother, if you love me, please give back Sita. And he holds on to the feet of Ravana. Then what does Ravana do? He kicks Vibhishana. So that kick itself was a proof that Ravana wanted Vibhishana to get out of Lanka. So then Vibhishana along with his four ministers, as they were leaving, they said, What did they say? All of you are in the jaws of death. Now please don't blame me. I am going to surrender unto Bhagavan. Saying this, he leaves the place, crosses the ocean, and then seeing him, all the monkeys, they surround him. They inform Sugriva. Sugriva in turn informs Bhagavan, saying that Ravana's brother had come. So then Bhagavan asks him, what should be done? So then Sugriva says, they are all enemy, so therefore we should tie them down, and they are all Nishacharas. They are all Mayavis. We don't know in which form they come, etc. We can't trust them. Maybe they are spies in order to get information, secret information from us. So therefore we must tie them down. Then Bhagavan says, what you are saying is right, but my nature is, whoever takes refuge in me, I give them Abhayahasta. I give them refuge. This is my nature. How much ever papa he must have done, whatever kind of crime he must have done, but the moment he turns towards me, surrenders to me, it is my duty to protect them. And from the worldly standpoint, if you suppose, let us assume that he has come in order to cheat, normally Bhagavan says, a person who is a dushta purusha, a wicked person, he will never come to me. It is impossible. In fact, a person comes towards me only when the papas done in the crores and crores of births have been destroyed. Only then somebody turns towards me. Now, even if from the political standpoint, even if he is a cheat, even then Lakshmana can finish off the entire Rakshasas in no time. So in both ways, there is no threat. Bring him in. So then Angada, Hanuman, Sugriva, all of them go. They go and bring Vibhishana. So then Vibhishana, as he was coming, when he sees Bhagavan's beautiful form, his eyes become filled with tears, hair stand on end, and then he introduces himself, voice choked with emotion, seeing that Supreme Lord, which he had only heard. Then he introduces, saying that, O Bhagavan, I am Vibhishana, who is the brother of Ravana, who is born in Nishachara Vamsha, Sahaja Papapriya Tamasadeha, for whom doing papa is effortless. It's a very swabhava of ours, of Rakshasas, born in a tamasic body. And so saying, but I have come to you because I have heard your name, glory. And saying this, he falls flat at the feet of Bhagavan, saying, Trahi, Trahi, O Lord, protect me. With total humility, when Bhagavan hears these words of Vibhishana, filled with humility, filled with devotion, full of surrender, Bhagavan immediately gets up, goes to him, lifts him, hugs him, makes him sit beside him with so much of love. And then Bhagavan calls him Lankesh. O Lankesh, how are the things with you, with your family, etc.? So Bhagavan declares him as king of Lanka. How is it that you are able to live with such wicked people? In such a bad place, how are you able to live? Then Bhagavan says, living in Naraka is far better than living amidst Dussanga. So yesterday we had seen why it is so. Living in Naraka is far better than living in Dussang. But then Vibhishana says, Bhagavan, now that I have seen the lotus feet of yours, now everything is fine with me. So now these are all some of the statements which are very, very true. What does he say? He says, तब लगी कुशल न जीव कहूँ सपने हो मन विश्राम जब लगी भजत न राम कहूँ शोक धाम त्यजि काम. As long as the mind is filled with various kinds of desires, that mind is nothing but shoka dham, an abode of sorrow. Such a person can never have peace of mind even in dream. As long as the mind, as long as one doesn't worship God, one doesn't remember God, without God, life is nothing but sorrow alone. There is no peace. Continuing the same thought, he says, तब लगी हृदय बसत खल नाना लोभ मोह मच्छर मदमाना जब लगी उर न बसत रघुनाथा धरे चाप सायक कटि बाता. He says, Bhagwan finishing all the Rakshasas outside, it is easy. But there are certain Rakshasas inside also. Who are these Rakshasas inside? Lobha, Moha, Machhar. Machhar means what? Machhar doesn't mean mosquito. Matsara. Matsara means jealousy, etc. Mada mana, lobha, moha, machhara, madamana. All these negativities of the mind, these are also Rakshasas only, which are ruling our heart. So as long as we don't remember Bhagwan with bow, arrow and the quiver, it is this Bhagwan seated in our heart who destroys all these negative tendencies in us. So therefore, remembering Bhagwan is absolutely important. Mamata taruna tami andhiyari raga dvesha uluka sukhakari tab lagi basati jeev manamahi jab lagi prabhu pratap ravinahi. Just like when the sun rises, all the darkness is destroyed. In the same way, in our heart also we have this darkness. What is this darkness? Mamata. Mamata means attachment. That is the darkness. And in this darkness, Raga Dvesha, they are the Uluka owls. The owls love darkness. So the owls called Raga Dvesha, they stay in the darkness called Mamata, attachment. So, now who is Bhagwan? Bhagwan is the sun which destroys this darkness of attachment. So therefore, remembering Bhagwan is as though bringing light to our lives. अब मैं कुशल मिटे भय भारे देखी राम पद कमल तुम्हारे तुम कृपाल जा पर अनुकूला ताहि न व्याप त्रिविध भवसूला. Now everything is fine with me, O Lord. Now that your grace has fallen upon me, now that I have seen your lotus feet, now there is no more Trividha Tapa. What are the Tapatrayas? Adi Devika, Adhyatmika and Adi Bhautika. I hope you know it. The sufferings, the sorrows coming from the sources unknown is called Adi Devika, where we have no control. The sorrows coming from the sources known, from the immediate surrounding, it is called Adi Bhautika. And all the trouble, sorrows from within, it is called Adhyatmika Tapa. So once Bhagwan's grace descends on us, all these tapas go away. मैं निश्चर अति अधम स्वभाव शुभ आचरण कीन नहीं काऊ जास रूप मुनि ध्यान न आवा तेहि प्रभु हर्ष हृदय मोहिलावा. Bhagwan, I am so fortunate. Actually, I am a Rakshasa. And what is my nature? Adhama. I am an inferior person, full of inferior qualities. I have never lived a holy life. Such a person I am. But look at my fortune. That form of the Lord, which even great munis are not able to contemplate in their mind, so difficult, that Bhagwan has hugged me today. He has hugged me to his heart. अहो भाग्य मम अमित अति राम कृपा सुख पुंज देख्यो नयन विरंच शिव सेव्य जुगल पद कंज. अहो भाग्य, what a great fortunate person I am. Those lotus feet of Bhagwan, which even Brahmaji and Shivji worship, today my eyes could feast upon them. Now Bhagwan speaks. What does Bhagwan say? Sunahu sakha nij kahahu subhavu jaan bhusundi sambhu girijao jo nar hoi charachar drohi आवे सभय शरण तकी मोही तजि मद मोह कपट छलनाना करौ सद्य ते ही साधु समाना. Vibhishana, know this nature of mine. Only very, very rare few people know this nature of mine. Bhagavan, what is your nature? Only very rare few people know. Who are they? Jana Bhusundi. There is one Kaka Bhusundi. Is a crow, a great devotee of the Lord. Then Shambhu, Shiva, Girijao, Parvati. Only very few people like Kakabhushundi, Shambhu, Shivji and Bhavani, only very few people know my nature. Bhagavan, what is your nature? Which very few people know. Suppose there is a person, Jonar Hoi Charachara Drohi. He has committed all kinds of crimes, harming others, giving pain to others. But suppose if he turns towards me, Avai Sabhaya Saranataki Mohi, turning towards me, full of fear, surrendering unto me, giving up Mada, Moha, Kapata, Chala, giving up arrogance, deceit, giving up all kinds of infatuation. If he turns towards me, Karau Sadhyatehi Sadhu Samana, that very moment I make him a sadhu, a saintly person. So which is this verse? Apiche Sudracharaha Bhajate Mamananyabhak Sadhureva Samantavyah. The same verse. Now here, what is the unique feature of Bhagavan, which people don't know? See, normally we know Bhagavan as Karma Phaladata, giver of Karma Phala. So whatever karma we do, accordingly we will have to go through the Karma Phala. This is known to all. At least spiritual people, this is known. But then Bhagavan says there is something else also. I am also capable of forgiving the devotees. Meaning what? Suppose a person has done very bad karma, but suppose he surrenders unto Bhagavan, then he need not go through that karma phala. So there is an exceptional case for this law. The law is, as you sow, so shall you reap. Whatever you do comes back to you. This is the law. But then Bhagavan gives the exception to this law. What is the exception? Suppose you have done something bad, but suppose you confess in front of God, seeking forgiveness, saying, Bhagavan, I will not do this again. I have made a mistake, please forgive me. If a devotee comes and confesses, surrenders, repents from the depth of his heart, turning towards the Lord, then Bhagavan says, I forgive him completely. This is an exception to this law of karma. Suppose a child has done some mischief and the mother is going to beat the child. I know the child is scared of mother. And with the tears in eyes, if the child falls at the feet of mother and say, Mother, mother, please forgive me. I will not do it again. By mistake I did it. Won't the mother forgive? Mother will definitely forgive. Though mother is going to hit the child because the child deserved punishment, but the moment child surrenders unto mother, what is the attitude of mother? Mother immediately forgives the child. Though the child deserves punishment, the karma phala doesn't come to the child. Though the child has done the karma phala doesn't come because the child has surrendered. So Bhagavan says that this nature of mine people don't know. Very rare few know it. This is my nature. Okay. Now the next one is also important. Janani Janaka Bandhu Sutadara तनु धनु भवन सुहृद परिवारा सबके ममता ताग बटोरी मम पद मन ही बांध बरी डोरी समदर्शी इच्छा कछु नाही हर्ष शोक भय नहीं मन माही अस सज्जन मम उर बस कैसे लोभी हृदय बसई धनु जैसे. Now here Bhagavan says, whom he loves the most. Whom does Bhagavan keep in his heart? So how should we live our life? All these things are given here. So how should we live? Normally we have attachment to all these things. Who are they? Janani, mother; Janaka, father; Bandhu, relatives; Sut, son; Dara, wife; Tanu, body; Dhanu, wealth; Bhavana, house; Suhrada, friends; Parivara, family. Normally, every one of us, we are attached to all these things. Now, what does Bhagavan say? Let us assume that we are all tied to these things with a thread. Now, what Bhagavan says is, Sabke mamata tagbatori, intertwining all these threads and making it a rope. These are all thread. A thread of attachment towards Janaki, what called? Janani, Janaka, Bandhu, Sutta, etc. They are all thread. Take all those threads, intertwine them, make a rope, and then tie it at the feet of the Lord. Now it's a thick rope now. So the one who has tied these threads of attachment, making it a rope, and the one who has tied to my feet, Mama Pada Manahi Bandh Baridori, then such a person remains in my heart. Means Bhagavan remembers such a bhakta. Now what does it mean here? Does it mean that we should leave all this for the sake of God? No. That is not the meaning. What Bhagavan is saying is how to develop relationship with God. Now, how did we develop relationship with all these? Father, mother, relative, son, wife, house, wealth, body. How did we make relationship with all these? Any relationship is made when you spend time with that person, isn't it? How is a relationship made? A relationship is made when you spend quality time. Yes or no? Without spending time with that person, no relationship can be made. That person is a stranger. Even husband and wife also. In the beginning they are strangers. But after a long time, when they spend time together, what happens? A relationship is developed. Even the mother-child also. In the beginning strangers. But slowly, the relationship is built. Nowadays what is happening is, child is taken care by some maid servant. Mother, father, they are working in some, foreign countries, and the child is taken care by someone. So what happens? The child develops intense relationship with maybe the grandmother or the maid servant, not with the mother. Such things are happening nowadays. The point is, if the relationship has to be made, we have to spend quality time. Now, which relationship is the most important? Our relationship with God is the most important. Why relationship with God is the most important? This relationship is the most important because all other relationships are impermanent. Impermanent means what? It has a beginning, it has an end. All relationships are impermanent. Only our relationship with God alone is permanent. This relationship is there not only in this life, but all the innumerable previous life, even the future life also, this one relationship is going to be there. Which relationship? our relationship with God. Many times what happens is, in most of the cases, we have no time for this relationship, we have time only for other relationship, which are impermanent. All our suffering is because of this. So how to develop relationship with God? Unless you spend time with God, you cannot develop relationship with God. How to spend time with God? Whatever sadhanas we are doing, it is nothing but spending time with God. It can be puja, it can be japa, it can be meditation, it can be chanting. All these are nothing but spending time with God. If you are spending time with a wandering mind, that relationship will be a weak relationship. If you are spending time paying attention to God, not allowing the mind to wander, then the relationship slowly becomes stronger and stronger. The more the time spent, the greater will be the strength of this relationship. So that is why all this puja etc. is mentioned. In the beginning, this is the easiest thing. Keep a form of Bhagavan and start spending time with this form. If you can't imagine God who is infinite etc., doesn't matter, take one form. Keep it in front and then spend time with God. How to spend time? So in the Shastras it is given the Shodasha Upachara Puja. So what do you do there? Shodasha means 16. There are 16 ways. So you invoke the presence of God. So what is actually it? It is nothing but you imagine that Bhagwan is coming to your house. Now Bhagwan has come all the way, so you wash his feet, you give something to drink, asana etc. is prepared, he is made to sit, isn't it? You give him bath, you give him what you call cloth, you give him food, naivedya etc. etc. So what is happening is you are spending time with God. So now naivedya has to be prepared, so you have to prepare it earlier itself before puja. Now flower decoration has to be done, so you have to collect flowers. So all the time what is happening is mind is connected to God, linked to God. So in the puja, whatever you are doing, you have to consciously imagine that there is Bhagwan who is seated in front and I am offering him and he is accepting those offers. So everything is an imagination. But in this imagination, you feel the presence of Bhagwan there. So every day when you do it, what happens? Slowly you feel that Bhagwan has actually come. You feel it. And Bhagwan is a great lover of devotee. He will make your faith also stronger by giving you what you call indications also. He will never shake your faith. So slowly what happens is when the relationship becomes stronger and stronger, a time comes when after the puja, whenever you have problems, difficulties, when you share with Bhagwan, now this is something to be done. You take the problems to the Lord and then you will find that mysteriously these problems you get a solution. Whenever you take a problem to Bhagwan, you will find you get the best solution from Bhagwan. You get it at the right time and you get the best solution. When you get this best solution, what happens to your faith, devotion, etc.? There was some problem which was troubling you. You did not find the solution to this problem. Ultimately, you took it to Bhagwan, and from Bhagwan you are seeing the solution, the result. What happens to your faith? Becomes stronger. What happens to your love for God? Becomes stronger. So faith becomes strong, trust becomes strong, love becomes strong, devotion becomes strong. Slowly what happens is the relationship with God becomes stronger and stronger. And what happens when this relationship becomes strong? When the relationship becomes strong, slowly the role of a devotee becomes the primary role. We have so many roles to play in life, isn't it? Father, mother, son, daughter, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, so many roles are there which we have to play in life. But then as the relationship with God becomes stronger, the role of a devotee becomes primary. So you say, I am a devotee who is a husband. I am a devotee who is a wife. All the other roles become secondary. Which is the primary role? Devotee role. In life we play so many roles, but this role becomes primary with intensifying relationship with God. Now, when you live in this life as a devotee, what happens? What is your attitude towards the ups and downs in life? Remember one thing, whenever you are interacting in this world as a devotee, you are able to accept ups and downs in life with a cheerful mind. In the temple when you go, which role is primary? Devotee role is primary. The moment you come into a temple, you feel you are a devotee. So then when that pujari gives some prasad to you, it may be some dirty water, it may be some dry tulasi leaf, whatever it is, you just put it in your mouth, isn't it? Now that is called as prasada buddhi. Prasada buddhi means accepting without questioning, accepting cheerfully. This prasada buddhi comes only in the temple because in the temple you are a devotee. Now suppose you are able to maintain this role of a devotee wherever you go. What happens? Now life is full of joys and sorrows, victories and defeats, gain and losses. It's pairs of opposites. So even amidst pairs of opposites, you are able to have this prasada buddhi. Everything is Bhagwan's prasad. This attitude comes. This will come only and only if you are operating as a devotee in life. And you can operate in devotee only when the relationship with God is the strongest. I hope you are understanding. So now, what does Bhagavan say? Samadarshi. Such a person becomes Samadarshi, developing the vision of oneness. What is this vision? The whole world is a manifestation of God. So therefore, there is nothing called good and bad. Everything is but God alone. Ichha kachunahi. There is no desire in his mind. No worldly desires. Harsh shok bhaya nahi man mahi. His mind becomes free from harsha, joy, shoka, sorrow, bhaya, fear. Whenever you are operating as a devotee, you will find these things have no place. Mind becomes absolutely peaceful. It is always cheerful. These are all the results of developing a very strong relationship with God. Even playing different roles also, there is no problem. Father, mother, everyone you see as a manifestation of God alone. No relationship is a problem for you. You know how to act in that particular role. There is no problem. Everyone is seen as a manifestation of God. Whether it is Janani, Janaka, Bandhu, Suta, Dara, Tana, Dhana, everything is nothing but everything belongs to God. Nothing belongs to me. This knowledge you very well have. And therefore, even when you are amidst them, they are not able to create attachment in your mind. There is a healthy detachment even when you are living amidst all this. You are not bound. But for this to happen, attachment to God is absolutely essential. So this is what Bhagavan says here. Those people, even when they are living in the world, amidst all the worldly problems, fulfilling all the responsibilities, but at the same time tuned to God, Bhagavan says, such a person lives in my heart. How? Lobhi hridaya basai dhanu jaise. Just like a lobhi means a greedy person. All the time, what does he think? He thinks of money, isn't it? A greedy person always thinks of money. In the same way, in his mind always money alone resides. In the same way, in my mind, only such a devotee resides. तुम सारीखे संत प्रिय मोरे, धरो देह नहीं आन निहोरे. O Vibhishana, saintly people like you, it is for you that I take avatar. Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect people like you, I take avatar. Saguna upasak parahita nirata niti dridhnem, te nara prana samanamama jinake dvijapada prem. Those people who are saguna upasakas, parahita nirata, ever engaged in the welfare of all, living a righteous life, living a pure life, moral life, ethical life, sticking to the was, sticking to the path of righteousness, such a person, jinake dvijapada prem, loving and revering saintly people. Bhagavan says, te nara prana saman. Such people are dear to me like my own life. Sunu Lankesh sakala guna tore, tate tuma atisaya priya more. O Lankesh, once again, he is called Lankesh only now, not Vibhishana. Vibhishana, you have all the great noble virtues in full measure. That is why I love you so much. Ram bachana suni banara jutha sakal kahain jaya kripa barutha. When all the monkeys heard this, they said, Jai Sri Ram. Sunat Vibhishana Prabhu ke bani nahi aghat shravanamrit jani. And as Vibhishana was listening to this nectarian words of the Lord, he was filled with joy. He was not at all satisfied. He wanted more and more of this satsang. Pada ambujagahi barhi bara hridaya samatana premu apara. Again and again he fell at the feet of Lord, and the joy he could not contain in his heart. And then what happened? And because of that gushing devotion in his heart, Ura kachu prathama basanara, he Prabhupada preeti sarita sobahi, whatever little impurity was there in his heart, whatever little vasanas were there, all of them were washed clean in the river of devotion for God. His heart became extremely pure, clean. Ab kripal nija bhagati pavani, dehu sada siva mana bhavani. O Lord, please give your devotion. This is what I ask from you, Vibhishana said. Evamastu kahi prabhu ranadhira. Bhagavan said, Evamastu. So Vibhishana asked for devotion. Bhagavan says, Tathastu. Maga turata sindhu karanira. Immediately Bhagavan asked for water from the ocean. Why did he ask for water? In order to do the Rajyabhishek of Vibhishana, to put a tilak. He asked for water from the ocean. And then he said, Jadapi sakhatava ichha nahi mor darasu amogh jagamahi. Vibhishana, I know that you have no desire for the, for the kingdom. You have no desire to become the king of Lanka, etc. But the rule is, whoever has my darshan doesn't go in vain. Now that you have had my vision, this vision can never go in vain. So therefore, material prosperity has to come as a byproduct. Asakahi Ram tilakatahi sara. And thus saying, he put the tilak of the oceanic water, making him the king of Lanka. Sumana Brishtinaba Bhai Apara. And at that moment there was Sumana Vrishti from heavens. All the devatas, they showered flowers. Why did they shower flower? Not because Vibhishana became the king, but because it meant Ravana's death. Devatas are not interested in who becomes the king. Devatas are interested only in themselves. So they showered the flowers. It is said that when Vibhishana actually became the king, the flowers were not showered. Anyway, in this Tulsi Ramayana, that is how the devatas are depicted. They are depicted as selfish people. They are interested only in their own welfare. Okay. रावण क्रोध अनल निज श्वास समीर प्रचंड जरत विभीषण राखेव दीन है राजु अखंड. Actually, in the fire of Ravana, Vibhishana was burning. In the fire of Ravana's anger, Vibhishana was burning. And those words of Vibhishana which he spoke against Ravana, it was acting as a, what you call, wind to fan it. But then Bhagwan saved Vibhishana and then made him king, what you call, and gave him the kingdom of Lanka. जो संपत्ति शिव रावण ही दीन ही दिए दसमात सोई संपदा विभीषण ही सकुचि दीन ही रघुनाथ. That very same kingdom which Lord Shiva gave it to Ravana. What was the tapas which Ravana did? It is said he had 10 heads. He started chopping heads one by one and started offering it to Lord Shiva, putting it in that Yajna Kunda. So 9 heads were chopped. As he was going to chop is the 10th head, immediately Bhagwan, Lord Shiva appeared and then blessed him with kingdom, power, etc. That very same kingdom, Soi Sampata Vibhishanahi, Raghunath Dini, Bhagwan gave it. But how did he give? Sakuchi, hesitatingly. Bhagwan hesitatingly gave the same kingdom to Vibhishana. Now the question is, why hesitatingly? Hesitatingly to indicate that, Vibhishana, what I am giving is nothing compared to what you have given. What did Vibhishana give? He gave himself. Total surrender means giving up one's own ego. Remember, Ravana had not given up his ego. He had given only his head, but the ego was intact. What about Vibhishana? He gave his ego, which is the greatest offering. So it is said, Bhagwan hesitatingly gave this kingdom. Hesitatingly because he was giving only Lanka, and that too half-burned Lanka. So hesitatingly Bhagwan gave this. Okay. As Prabhu chadi bhajahi jayana tenar pasu binu puch vishanam. Such is the greatness of Bhagwan. He gives everything to his devotee. Material prosperity and also spiritual evolution. Everything he gives. Bhakti, jnana, vairagya, everything gives. Such a wonderful Bhagwan. Those people who don't worship him. Te nara pasu. They are not human beings. They are animals. But what is the difference? Binu punch bishana. They don't have tail, they don't have horns. That's all. So those people who don't worship Bhagwan, they are none other than animals without tails, without horns. That's all. Nija jana jani tahi apanava prabhu subhava kapi kulamana bhava. When Bhagwan accepted Vibhishana, considering him as his own, all the monkeys, they were so happy. So now, here, let us, discuss the important points of Sharanagati, surrender. In this we have a very important topic which is covered, which is Vibhishana Sharanagati. So now in the philosophy of devotion, there are 6 points to be kept in mind when we talk of Sharanagati, surrender. What is surrender? How to surrender? What are the aspects which we have to take into account when we say when we should surrender to Bhagavan? So there are 6 points. So there is a verse which says, Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishwasaha goptrutva varanam tatha atma nikshepa karpanye shadvidha sharanagatihi. This is a verse. So there are 6 points. So one by one we will see. The first one is anukulyasya sankalpaha. So these are the points which we must keep in mind when we say we are surrendering unto God. Number one, anukulyasya sankalpa. Whatever takes us towards God, that sankalpa we have to make. Meaning, those things we should do. Whichever is anukula, favorable in developing devotion, those things we must do. So, do's and don'ts. So, what is the thing to be done? Anything which develops devotion, we must do. That is called anukulyasya sankalpa. So, whenever we are going to do anything, ask this question: will it develop devotion for God? Then I am doing it. Got it? So, daily, what you call, meditation, puja, etc. Should we do it or not? We should do it because it will help develop devotion. Walking the path of righteousness, it will help devotion. Therefore, yes, it should be done. Being straightforward, being honest, it should be done. They are all called anukulyasya sankalpa. Whatever takes us to God, we must do it. This is the first point. The second one, pratikulyasya varjanam. Pratikulyasya means what? Anything which is against this, one must give up. Sensuous living, we must give up. There is no choice. Dishonesty, we must give up. There is no choice. Then, anything which pollutes the mind, we have to give up. Kama, krodha, lobha, etc., we have to give up. This is called pratikulyasya varjanam. Dussangaha, we must give up. Right? Anything which boosts the ego, we must give up. So this is called pratikulyasya varjanam. So whenever we are exposed in this world, it can be TV, it can be newspaper, it can be internet, it can be this, that. This question should be asked: will this take me towards God? If not, give it up. This is called pratikulyasya varjanam. Third one, rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Firm faith that Bhagavan will protect me. Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Firm faith in it. Firm faith in Bhagavan's ability to protect. Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Total faith in God. The third one. Fourth one, goptrutva varanam. Goptrutva varanam. Seeking protection from God. That is also necessary. Mere faith will not do. You must actually seek protection from God. Bhagavan, save me. Should seek protection. The nature of Bhagavan is he is very democratic. Democratic means what? As long as you don't request, he will not come to help you. Because as long as you don't request, it means that you think you can handle yourself. You can handle your problems yourself. You don't need help. This is the meaning. So therefore, he will not interfere. He will not interfere in your life as long as you don't seek his guidance. And this is what you find in Bhagavad Gita also. As long as Arjuna was blabbering in the first chapter, talking as a jnani, as though he knows everything, Bhagavan was silent. In the first chapter, Bhagavan did not open his mouth. When did he open his mouth? When Arjuna surrendered. Karpanya doshopa hatasvabhavaha prachhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. Isn't it? Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Bhagavan, I am your shishya, please teach me, please guide me. When he surrendered, then starts Bhagavad Gita. Till then Bhagavad Gita doesn't start. So Bhagavan is like this. Till you take the initiative, he is silent. If all the windows and doors are closed, room is dark, outside there is sunlight. So if the room has to be lighted, what should be done? You have to open the doors and window. Who has to do? Should the son do it or you should do it? We should do it. Inside the room, we are in the dark, we have to do this, opening up. This is called Goptrutva Varanam. Seeking his light, seeking his guidance, seeking his protection. This is point number 4, isn't it? Point number 4. Point number 5, Atma Nikshepa. Atma Nikshepa means total surrender unto his feet. Surrendering oneself. Atma Nikshepa. Point number 5. And point number 6, Karpanya. Speaking, literally speaking the words of helplessness. Bhagwan, please protect me, I am totally helpless. Expressing humility through words, speaking. This is the 6th one. So these are the Shadvidha Sharanagati. 6 pointers to what you call. These 6 points should be there. Now if you see Vibhishana's case, all the 6 are there. What is the first one? Anukulyasya sankalpaha. Doing that which will help devotion. So if you see, Vibhishanji was living in a temple-like atmosphere, always chanting the name of the Lord, etc., etc. Pratikulyasya varjanam. He was living a sattvic life, a pure life, even though he was living in Lanka. Following the ways of righteous people, full of nobility, goodness, purity. Pratikulyasya varjanam. Then third one, Rakshishyati iti vishwasa. He had firm faith that Bhagwan will protect. That is why he gave up Lanka and he came to Bhagwan. Without faith, you would not even come. Rakshishyati iti vishwasa. Then Goptrutva Varanam. Seeking Bhagwan's protection. Vibhishana sought Bhagwan's protection. And then Atmanikshepaha. He fell at the feet of Bhagwan in total surrender. And then Karpanya, speaking the words. What did he say? Trahi, Trahi Bhagwan. Literally spoke these words of helplessness. So in Vibhishana's case, all these 6 are there. So these 6 we must practice. Okay, moving forward. Puni sarvagya sarva urabasi. सर्व रूप सब रहित उदासी बोले बचन नीति प्रतिपालक कारण मनुज धनुज कुलघारण. That supreme, all-powerful Lord who could do anything, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent Bhagavan. Now he is doing the Naralila. So when he is doing Naralila, he has to be like a ordinary human being. So then he called Sugriva, Vibhishana, etc. and said, Sunu kapis lankapati veera kehibidi tarya jaladi gambhira. O Sugriva, O Vibhishana, Lankapati, tell me how to cross this ocean. Sankula makar urag jashajati ati aghad dustar sababhanti. This ocean which is so deep, so vast, filled with crocodiles, snakes and various kinds of fish. So if we jump into it, these crocodiles will just swallow us. How to cross this? Crossing is not possible. He just asked this question. Now this question appears as though he is helpless, weak and all. It is not. Bhagwan can do anything, but he is doing Naralila. So therefore, he asked this question. At that time, Sugriva did not know how to cross. He kept quiet. Then Vibhishana started speaking. What did he say? Kah lankesh sunahu raghunayak koti sindhu soshak tavasayak. O Lord, in fact, your one arrow can do the job. One arrow is enough. Crores of such oceans will be dried up. Now Vibhishana, he knew that this is none other than Bhagwan. But actually Sugriva, he considered him as a human only. What Vibhishana he knew, this is Bhagavan. O Raghunayak, Vibhishana said, your one arrow can do it, but Jadyapi Tadapi Niti Asigai, though the, norms of good conduct, rules of good conduct say, Binaya Kariya Sagar Sanajai, we must request this ocean. With all humility, we should pray to this ocean to give way. This is the right way. Though you need not do it. But this is the right way. We must request. A prayerful request is the right thing to be done here. Prabhu tumar kula guru jaladhi kahihi upaya bichari binu prayas sagar tarihi sakala bhalu kapidhari. Bhagwan, this Sagara is none other than your Kulaguru. So the story goes that Sagara is the ancestor of Bhagwan Ramchandraji. His sons are called Sagara Putra. They are the ones who dug up the earth and then the water filled up, which we call as Sagara. So now Sagara is your Kulaguru. So therefore, the right thing would be to request them so that he will give way, and once the way is made, all these monkeys and bears can cross over. Sakha kahi tum niki upai kariya daiv jo hoi sahai. And when Rama heard this, Bhagavan said, "Oh my dear friend, what you said is right. If luck favors us, then definitely things will happen. If luck favors us." But what was Lakshmana's reaction? He was very angry. Mantra na yah lakshi man man bhava Ram bachana suni ati dukha pava. This approach Lakshmana didn't like. He became very angry. He did not like it. And he was very sad. Not angry, he was very sad. Ati dukha pava. And then he just expressed his sadness. Nath Devakara Kavana Bharosa Soshya Sindhu Karya Manarosa. Bhagavan, we should not depend on this luck and all that. Luck, fortune, destiny, all these things we should not depend. What you should do is become angry. Show little anger and dry up this ocean. This is what we should do. Now why Lakshmana told this is because, see, Bhagavan is in front. So isn't it the responsibility of the Varuna Devata to come and fall at the feet of Bhagavan? And so who is the master, who is the servant here? Bhagavan is the master, Varuna Devata is the servant. So now, earlier if you remember, when Hanumanji started the journey, it was the same Varuna Devata who told Mainaka Parvat to come up and do the needful to give rest, etc. to Hanumanji, because he is Ramaduta, so therefore we should take care of him. It is the same Varuna Devata. Now Bhagavan himself wants to cross and this fellow doesn't come. A servant should be ever ready to serve the master. So here Bhagavan is wanting to cross the ocean and the Sagar, this Varuna Devata, doesn't come at all. This made Lakshmana very angry. Another reason was, already it is getting late. Poor Sita Mata is suffering there. And again, unnecessarily the delay. Bhagavan can dry up the whole thing in a moment's notice. And Bhagavan is not doing it. He is going for prayer and this and that. So Lakshmana was very angry. What did he say? Kadar man kahu ek adhara daiva daiva alasi pukara. Only these, cowards, they talk about luck, they talk about destiny. Cowards and lazy people, they are the ones who talk about all these words. Luck, etc. There is nothing called luck, destiny and all that. He was very angry. Sunat bihasi bole Raghubira, ehesi karab dharahu manadhira. When Bhagavan heard Lakshmana's words, he just smiled and then said, Lakshmana, we will do that way only. But have patience, have patience. Bhagavan knew that all this request and all is not going to work. He has to really get angry. But why did he listen then to Vibhishana's request? Now that is also diplomacy. When a minister is giving an advice, you must listen to them. Instead of saying, no, that won't work, etc. Earlier he had listened to Sugriva also. He said, yes, your opinion is right. Now these things you have to learn from Bhagavan. See, how to speak sweetly. Even when you disagree with a person, how to sweetly disagree with a person. This is something to be learned from Bhagavan. Anyway, here Bhagavan listens to Vibhishana's advice, and then what does he do? Asakahi Prabhu anujahi samujhai sindhu sameep gair urai. Thus, what he called, making Lakshmana understand, he goes to the shore of the ocean. Prathama pranama keen sirunai vethe punitat darbadasai. He prostrated to this ocean and then sat there on the darbha grass, taking a vow of fast for 3 days, fasting and mauna. Fasting, mauna and prayer for 3 days. This is what he does. Now, this topic ends here. Now we will take another topic. What is another topic? जब ही विभीषण प्रभु पइयाए पाछे रावण दूत पठाए. Now there in Lanka what happened was, Vibhishana had left. Now Ravana was very curious. What is going to happen to Vibhishana? So he had sent 2 spies. Dutas. No, not Duta, spy. To see how does Bhagavan treat Vibhishana. He wanted to know. So he had sent 2 spies. सकल चरित तिन देखे धरे कपट कपि देव प्रभु गुण हृदय सराह ही शरणागत परने. So these dutas, the main person's name was Shuka. He was the main person. Sukha and Sarana, they were the 2. So what did they do? They took the form of a monkey, both of them. They came in disguise and they were with all these monkeys. And the other monkeys did not know. They were actually the dutas of Ravana. Just to see what happens to Vibhishana. For that purpose they had come there. So they were with these monkeys. And when these 2 people saw how Vibhishana was treated by Bhagavan, how wholeheartedly he accepted them, how Vibhishana surrendered and how Bhagavan embraced them, embraced Vibhishana, made him sit near him, how he blessed them, everything when they saw, they were filled with love for Bhagavan, these 2 spies. Prabhu guna hridaya sarahi saranagatu parne. They saw how, Vibhishana had advised Ravana also, Vibhishana had advised Rama also. Now see the difference. One place Vibhishana gets kick. Here, what does Rama do? Even his, keeping aside even his own brother's suggestion, Lakshmana's suggestion, he takes up the suggestion of Vibhishana. See the respect and regard given to Vibhishana here. Looking at this, these 2 spies were clean bold. They said, Pragat bakhanahi Rama Swabhav Atisa Prem Ga Bisari Durao. They were so much influenced by Bhagavan, his love and all that. They started loudly talking the glories of Bhagavan, both of them. They started discussing the glory of Bhagavan. And in the process, they forgot that they have come in disguise. Actually, they have come in the form of monkey. They forgot, and suddenly both of them started appearing as Rakshasas. They forgot. And when they appeared amidst these monkeys as Rakshasas, others came to know that these 2 are not monkeys, they are nothing but Nishacharas, Rakshasas. Ripuke Dut Kapinata Bajane Sakala Bandhi Kapisa Pahiyane. Immediately they caught hold of them. They tied them and brought him in front of Sugriva. Kah Sugriva Sunahu Sababanar Anga Bhanga Kari Pathav Nisachar. Sugriva said, mutilate their bodies. Anga Bhanga, the same thing which they were planning to do with Hanuman. Cut off all the limbs and then send them. Now, why did Sugriva not go to Bhagwan Ramchandra ji? Because he was seated in Mauna. He is not supposed to speak. So, therefore, Sugriva was taking the decision. So, Sugriva said, cut off their limbs and send them back. Suni Sugriva bachana kabidhaye bandhi katak chahu paas firaye. And then listening to this, all these vanaras, monkeys, they caught hold of them, tied them, and they took a procession, taking them around. Bahu prakar maran kapilage. All these monkeys started hitting them in different ways, torturing them. Deen pukarat tadapi tage. And they started screaming for help. But even then, they kept on beating him. Jo hamar har nasa kana, tehi ko saladhi sake ana. At last, these two spies said, we plead in the name of Bhagwan Ramchandra ji. Please don't hit us. Please don't cut our nose and ears. So these two spies, they took the name of Bhagwan. In the name of Bhagwan, please don't, cut our nose and ears. They were going to cut their nose and ears. Immediately they said, in the name of Bhagwan, please don't do it. Maybe at that time they had stopped. Suni Lakshmana sab nikat bolaye, daya lagi hansa turat chodaye. Lakshmana saw this, that something is happening, immediately called them. And when he heard all this, he felt compassionate, he smiled at them and then asked them to be released. Ravana kar di jahu yah pati, Lakshmana bachan bachukulaghati. Then Lakshmana in turn made these two spies their messengers for Ravana. You go back, but send our message to Ravana now. What did he say? Kahehu mukhagar moodasana mama sandesh udar Sita dai milaunata ava kalu tumhar. So, two messages were given. One is oral, the other one is written. So, written sheet was given to them and they said, on the face, tell this, that if you don't return Sita and come and meet Bhagwan, understand that your death is for sure. Turat nai Lakshman padmatha chale doot baranat gunagatha. Both the dutas, they were sent back. So even while going back, they were only singing the glory of Bhagwan, how great a person he was, etc. Kahat Ram jas Lanka aaye, Ravana charana seesatinanaye. After reaching Lanka, both of them prostrated to Ravana. Bihasi dasasana puchi bata, kahsina sukha apani kusalata. Ravana laughed. So both of them came as Duta. So now Ravana was very curious to know. So now Ravana is asking so many questions. Hey Sukha, tell me, why are you silent? Tell me these things. How are you? Question number 1. Question number 2. Punikahu khabari Vibhishana keri jahi mrityu ai atineri. Tell about Vibhishana. What has happened to him? I am sure his death is near. Karat Raj Lanka sat tyagi hoi hi javakara kita abhagi. Actually, that Vibhishana was ruling this Lanka. Being a brother of the king, he was literally ruling the Lanka. Now that fool has left Lanka. Now he will be powdered like the worm in the grain. Now see, in the olden days, I don't know, now it must not be there. You have that stone, isn't it? To grind the grain, you have that stone. And one side you keep on putting the grain, the other side you keep on. So what happens is, many times in the grain, some worms also get caught. Worms. So what happens to that worm? That also get ground in this thing. In the same way, now Ravana is telling that Vibhishana is also like that worm now. Now all these vanaras are going to be powdered in that chakki, in that stone, grinding stone. All the vanaras are going to be powdered. Along with that, Vibhishana also will be powdered like that worm. So this is the second question. What is the second question? How is Vibhishana? Tell about Vibhishana. Third one. Punikahu bhalu kisakatakai kathina kal prerit chali aayi. Now tell about these monkeys and the bears. Their death is propelling them to come towards Lanka. They are all going to die only. Jinike jeevan kar rakhwara bhayo mriduluchita sindhu bichara. It is only because of the ocean that they are still alive. Actually, it is the ocean which is keeping them alive. If the ocean is not there, all our Rakshasas would have killed and eaten them. So this is the third question about monkeys and bears. Kahu tapasin ke baat bahori, jinke hridaya tas arimori. Now tell about these tapasvis. Those tapasvis. Tapasvis means Rama Lakshmana. They have lot of fear regarding me. Ki bhai bhet ke firi gaye shravan sujas suni mor kahasi na ripudal tej bal bahut chakit chit tor. What he says is, are they still there or they have left because of the fear of me? Listening to the name and fame of Ravana, the glory of Ravana, are those two tapasvis, ascetics, are they still there or they have left? So this is the fourth question. So what are the questions? Question number 1, how are you? Kusha. Question number 2, so he has to tell about himself. He has to tell about Vibhishana. He has to tell about the monkeys and the bears, and then he has to tell about the ascetics. 4 questions are there. But when he was asking these questions, he saw that the Shuka was just standing there, not answering, stunned, astonished, silent. So Ravana asked, what happened to you? Why are you looking like this? With wonderment. So now Shuka answers. What is that answer? We will see tomorrow. Tomorrow it will come to an end. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.